Papa Nyashi Abone Nyashi.
The NDC government, they don't believe in what they say. It doesn't keep its promise. A government of propaganda
will fund it without borrowing. 2025, 2026, 2027, we'll be able to have 4 billion United States dollars to link Accra to Kumasi. That is simple.
Yensama info nyina kwaba epiem emma dwumade so minority leader afanyoma ken akwa kodin komobi amasisi ameno kasei ensem bebre ene frache eba ore atodwa se His Excellency John Mahama NDC aban wo promise Ghana for nenso wo ba ye no wo nyemu ba kokra eno chi no the way Ghana for si tuja edema minority leader na busua esewani ensesa me ena me catcho when nyina chi ena finance minister ato forson asieche akwa dinkomo bi exposing another than Akuffo Addo ena na ban afenso wa dinkomo se IMF under His Excellency John Mahama Ghana enko IMF quick one yebe borrow so na fe ne dinkomo na bibia aye kama enkomo bebre so ena free South Africa ba Ghana for wo mo South Africa no sisi me no kasei ere na ekoso e wo quick one yebe kon so na fe no ye dinkomo baransa na no yenkone yenkotie nkomo a minority leader dia Akuffo Addo edi abreno.
They don't believe in what they say. I repeat, the NDC government does not believe in what it says. It says one thing and does another. It doesn't keep its promise. It is a government of propaganda. They promised 1 job, 3 shifts. As we speak, they have failed on that 1 job, 3 shifts. They promised cocoa farmers that a bag of cocoa will sell at 7,000. They came and they have rather reduced it. At least they could have maintained the 3,100 that Akuffo Addo left. They have lost their policy on agriculture. Maize farmers are complaining, yam farmers are complaining, cocoa farmers are complaining.
Okay, I'm sure. Mamu akwaba. Mejoso. And then some no doson, but answer no. Afanyoma the minority leader. What didn't come out the mighty minority leader. And come out the to just NDC. That be I promise and failing. Kwa uduamuka injina. Woman timanye.
Mamenja ya phone nyina. So far se wutie ne nsam na okana. Na ape me pese me de to fom na mehwe na me kaka na mu sanukura bi wo mu a. Aban na nya 1.5 year yen kan sa because 6 months ni ekubra mu nti fan say 1.5 year wanya a wo kon 2 years so enti 4 years ni nya nson but so far eniema ben na aban ne kan ya onyeye
24-hour economy
24-hour economy no wa hyase eye adwuma but the effective aye nyina ye person ke bia nketekie no ene emu se nya ntekie enti untimi kan jem se 24-hour economy en hyase so far, both Sabako abani say ya metimi aka ejina so with confidence. Say abani ni so and I want to 1 year tree. Yes, 1 year tree mpo. Young who says you are a women's bank. Apart from women's bank, I mean who said Danny Siwo. And no crown almost to 1 more at the near Melgu Kwama more year. Sentina make us a dino. The other person who is a danny no. Apart from that, no. Ebie ni won ma bose bie ni aban we boss a on ye bie sir ka bi kire me ebie na miminim baro de bomode na ka bi kire me ebie na wo nim bibia memenya we ene yetiefo a won mutie ana so omo hwe enso se bi omo nim bibi sa yenso enya we amesama ya mon type of fanto
hwene wo me se cocoa promise cocoa for se odi akatua ne ba be ko 6,000 enso wo ba wa anye wasa tusumpo
tie eho no se woni afenyo markings ya adwene a efa ba bi men shedam for 2p efri se aban ne ye mistake wan kirem se ebia ye bad ye dwama so se ne siti enei NPP amfa amamo no ye bad dwama so se ne siti ene ye de be mamo etia ho no megitum aban no fom so a wo ye ba kono no but no can you fault NDC as a government and John Mahama because akoye wiase nyina ana na me ne wo kase cocoa bo na ba fomo eno nti Ivory Coast no produce the largest cocoa ewo ewiase dwama so no ono kra de na woto ne nu ye de etiana me no kase cocoa akuafo ye demonstration wa Ivory Coast say ye to won mboto 1,500 Yatigana memman ne binum di Ivory Coast cocoa free smuggled their ban no mababa beton. And can you fault the government? So and no, what the infant no come any women's bank in the Ainaka. Now bayaba. No need 2 years. Now to me general cocoa and quabose. Any women's bank in quabosa, a debium. It means Anya Shino, Bosa was saying no, bear more than 90 dear, was shall say an hour yet.
And will be say I mesa NPP for be cretiano. And ye is cross over to me 1.5 years. I said Yama way now.
And no grandpa de Sandy Pacrona can met me a catch and said, Santama mess and now created a 90 year way. And on found what is shable. It's no one himself minus Gasma say. No one himself Yaman Koyi, but almost share Sabon. Free such as John Mahama NDC South Betwaso. Watch him. Nothing tell allowance one can so about Betwaso. Watch him. A true wood on me, Passama Bobudi, a Mudian or Castle Bay for so far when you feel one. Bobidi Trame. 1 year 20 years for one more. I buy Naka so about Arabic teachers are more Chomaka, and I'm no Casam 6,000 teachers Arabic, and what for my woman new Biaka. I buy Naka so about a year e-blocks no about Betwaso. Ayo. Abana nkasa na dan kwa Akuffo Addo nkasa ni project awoye nyina wo ba nya dia obeja ba hokrato agenda 11 abana nto aso awoguso awoye kwaku ade ebiem na push na abana kan onye ho adwuma na Accra to Kumasi expressway no onse ase ana
they say 51 kilometers ya juso
kwaku eti boshe be na afonyo market say walking
me say the abana antimian campo no abana obetena konwa so ade na happen no wasan ye Ghana for a cody sense was South Africa, and I was able.
And then no say, there was some rules a woman so 24 hours a warm year, Juma. Oko Tamaport on normally at 24 hours or more year, Juma. And you may couldn't be a dear Babatuja, a Unisa Identification Authority, and normally at their woman in Akasa, 1 year, Juma to Sadia Betty. Kwaku, 24-hour economy crisis and that in your mark and say canon. Abana Shasie, but the effectiveness a yena per se, a banono, and then Kwakayan coming in the Bayadri. It won't mean Cassa 24-hour economy, Abana Shasie, but you know, after your markings, you'll be on the credibility to say our form. Meno Cassa on Facebook wa. Ayem fonyini ya na dusu nsama waka ya abra no na dusu aya friend say afnya markins no wa bam na omo chichechi opposition communicators here and santrofo ne ade na wogina baabi no ka say oman na lawlessness ya de grofrof no enu na enre sha se won communicators no obama nam ko hu ni Facebook wo wo ma sha se akate ho ne kakra bi and one more circulate social media no so and name that sorry a whole minority leader also circulate bi obeka na say Johnson said nketia ka asem bi say oye tactical change bi e ma ha na dusumo wonum no mu free eye edom kuma no wo ma so ya o de nipa afro ba ye eno kan na ma o win election no na no see ya no mkoyi ha na dusu ensema no wo ka ade efa thank you to na don MPP mo ywa Akuffo Addo ne ba ya no ka se de wo mo ye de enye na no thank you to ni bia wo ma hye da akotwa no de aba beto abro ka se John Mahama na ye wo flag bearer meanwhile enye John Mahama na ye flag bearer wo NDC na mu president of the Republic of Ghana so such person no ne credibility no e wo fom obi a wo ko law school na wo ye lawyer utumi gina na che bedwa fie ka che da den opposition so o mu ni sa to me no so we are criticizing the judiciary. Make I vet and some George and someone in the firm and a third person it me Jan Namroso. No, I criticize the judiciary. I catch a judge say one crowd when you school. Now on money that a money net. So said person so about out. No be making this commenter. Why should we take him serious? On one case when you serious one life mo. So you serious one life ma. Kobe say ade na me na me pesa me try ama aye friend say Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ne camp hu say African Americans me ye adwuma enu nti wo mo mpema sam by force so no enu mom esa e koso more harm to me credibility enti wonyan de o ye nyina ne osori anu aka nyina no epeso catch the eye of the Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia and in the camp because I'm telling you makane ha me kan prenye premfa eka wo mo nko ne Samira Bawumia nko a kan Alexander African Americans kan no ye minority leader eka ko do ponkroma and they will change him opo o mbe change no emre di anim yi eno no opeso ye bibie amomu secondary Japan camp na no wo no awie ya to ba na wie enti wo pe Bawumia sem but I'm telling you Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ni ko kan mo mudi na chi no and my friends say wuntumi mo mudi na edi na chi no they are very 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 dangerous when it comes to politics e kwa yom be fa so bi om be change afenyo no om be change no it is an nsema a wo ka no entimi nkofa bibia mechanical credibility ho enkofa bibia mechanical dignity ho and enkofa bibia amfa meka wo no ankasa na manyo sama oye na emum egu na nimase because obi oye sound minded bia no etie Alexander Afenyo Markins na for NDC manifesto no to the true boss I would draw one can publicly no more the chile Ghana for no now tia we said ya mabosu nkwa ye ba ye women's bank and no kwane bossa or mon tackle ye asa
quick one yenko na yenko this video emra Akuffo se din komo watuja ede ama former president Nana Akuffo Addo ene na ban quick one yenko tiensem of the two jam.
Right, Honorable Speaker, ordinary Ghanaians bore the heaviest burden of that crisis. The consequences were felt across households, businesses, and institutions through rapid depreciation of the currency, runaway inflation of more than 50%, massive erosion of disposable incomes and savings, painful haircuts on domestic bondholders, including pensioners, punitive interest rates that constrained private sector activity, the imposition of nuisance taxes, including e-levy, betting tax, COVID-19 levy, and emission tax. Speaker, we witnessed job losses, business distress, and weakened investor confidence, and a sharp rise in poverty and economic insecurity. Right, Honorable Speaker, in the midst of all these hardships imposed on the people of Ghana, the government of the day then remained bloated, purposefully inefficient, and riddled with waste. So, Speaker, by December 2024, those responsible proceeded to undermine the very IMF program they themselves had signed to correct the mess that was imposed on the people of Ghana, missing targets and commitment under the IMF program. That was the debt of the crisis that we inherited. Mr. Speaker, it is important to recount this, to dwell on the past, not to dwell on the past, but to remind ourselves of the heavy price of fiscal indiscipline and economic recklessness, and to affirm our collective resolve that Ghana must never again return to that path. So, Speaker, let me take that again. It's important to recount that it's important for us to recount, not to dwell on the past, but to remind ourselves of the heavy price of fiscal indiscipline and economic recklessness, and to affirm our collective resolve that Ghana must never return to that path. Right, Honorable Speaker, some painful experiences cannot be taught. They must be lived to be understood. But once experienced, never again should they be repeated. The Speaker, never again should the people of Ghana be made to go through such horrible experiences.
Finance Minister Kessel Akuffo se wadin komo watuja manana do Akuffo Addo ene NPP abansa chemse obon person my Ghana yenko sa hu yehia nim bie ma quick one ye monwura.
Okay, kwakwe so we Alexander Afenyo Markins and some yewura ayi Kessel Akuffo se and some of the atudwa na koko de manije ye pa no and one waka no wobonu tofu ano but the manage ye pan so oka say ye kan sa na mum anye say ye gina no so tie pa kame baba bashe no say it is not necessary say anytime bia ye refer to opposition no wo mo ne mefunu a wo mo ye no let's focus na yenya ehono mfama communicators and as sensible as he is no what no be shame intimate audio no emamani je pa video no kwaku sawuka sawu ko wachi no rene ma MPP amanyoko ndo ma ne femu edo ma ne sikasam abra Alexander your friend say kanoforiata asabo say IMF wonko ne anko na china abra John Kuma Nyankopon fa ne kransie o ka ne prenye premfa our parliament say won nko IMF ne enko IMF china abra Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ka chese seka ne wo Ghana ha abra na Akuffo Addo ka chese yete sika so but any nenu ani nansa no more run it to
Ghana is capable of managing its own affairs.
Anya your friend said Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia was the Bank of Ghana one why adwuma open sika no go hu hia sa okobo besia Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia e wa internet nso kona go na ni nanu any nansa no mu dwan ko to IMF na the most annoying part is say only the first government in the history of Ghana body politics and as a government I want to huge amount of business ti loan kese na dan ko Akuffo Addo ne ba omianka nko a loan wo mo ji ye no besi wo mo bro ye no ebro 600 billion abra wo mo buy from Kwame Nkrumah to John Mahama last government no besi no man ni nyina 120 billion no omo bo more than 600 billion ebeka ho o pema hensia more than that ebeka ho. So when you sit down now go back now kasa wo ko fadie na nan dan ko Akuffo Addo ne Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia wei wonu be ye oman Ghana no na dia ba mprempren ya kwaku wo be ma NDC amanyo kron be dan more than heaven o be bega so mama mu no mu bo de chese ese nyankopon le lidie because NPP amanyo ko ne de no kwasem nie wo mo nsem o mo kan ye ane ne ma wonu be ye no especially whereby ya ne nam covenant mu how ane ya muchem na dan ko Akuffo Addo high private jet akese akokura de wanyina dure yi no de bi fama sawabroni Shialu Presi Airport. Ami a chi convoy ko fa sawabroni abeso hotel mu asante mamu ade ne ga betena mu anya me na make sawabroni na grant interview awokan ya na dan ko Akuffo na che se enwanwa na ahomte. So some legacy bia me future government and as a government here we me person won't be dwell on it, and I like what your friends say Kisawato force kan. So compare the makan inflation 54, $17, petrol 25, ujina wato ade yes yatum ane niema udra na ekoso wo memu now ready to force ba ye ya friend economic wizard da ato force nkasa ato force ntu no ho ato force nyedede na ready to force aya kwaku. I am telling you say ye kase ankure hunu ne ye dede no indeed dida bia ye kan ye nanan ma no omotrans book akasa bebuo no na omunim ne omukon enti wo compare ato force kenoforiata je na no poku ageman Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia na dan ko Akuffo Addo ene John Mahama why na ye ankure hu anu ye dede.
So we will be Akuffo Addo.
Akuffo Addo ban dede toilet kran na dan ko Akuffo Addo to convoy commission toilet na Bawumia whole presidential candidate vice no we jira agbogbosi promise toilet
mo ni wi amunyo so
ya se mo be dware me boa mo ne se mo be dware ya pesa ya breje gabro to east legon toilet o mo ne so ne ye be edua. It is a disgrace. Toilet anya assembly man anya DC anya constituency organizer anya regional chairman a whole running mate and even common toilet kwa wantimi ansi no aja ho de ko and the sick person wo masa ko fana basa Ghana fon ko to abamfa ma no
na ojiri se adwuma atofo sen eye e wo finance sector no
me ma wie so far ebe den se betimi yi fina media me be hu no Rollins person finance ministers no mani ade no me hu o mo mintimi nko o mo dwumadi a o modie so me siase na me de free 2016 ameka sa atam no mani afie a me huni niam yie pa no finance minister bia no obetimi a compare to force so far.
And I'm saying adwuma to force eye no only say every na cause 2028 no now they compare Akuffo Addo time no a there na only say because and some of can say oh hope say yenko IMF yenko sa atete nim biem no enya adwuma ketewa
enya adwuma
ato force obetimi
enya adwuma ketewa ba Ghana sane yenko IMF da first time I dey call me boa enti ne yenko da na yenya first time I dey call ye no sane yesi yenko biem e betimi aye so what ase ne first time Ghana call IMF because yako 17 when was the first time Ghana call IMF wo ne yenko obi da ne ye call ye ti sane yakoduru baabi na Ghana for na ye call ye no yesi yensa anko biem a adenti ne yetote ne me ya yentimi nko and the big push e koso na aban so nko bobe se mfiri baabi a
yenkwa the video emra u fa asem ne ba dabi yenhwamra atowo se video na yenhwamra enkomo odi ya u ba be ken ya wadi hu nkomo ntu de entimra.
Last year we introduced the big push. The focus of the big push is to ensure that our infrastructure receives an attention. His Excellency the President decided to focus on road infrastructure for the first 2 years. We have since earmarked, this year in the budget, we have about $4.5 billion investment in road infrastructure. 4.5 billion, city equivalent. Some of the things we've done is, for example, in the past, the oil revenue accrued to the budget was shared so thin. We used to use some to buy newspapers. We used to use some to buy air ticket. All what we have done going into the future is that we've changed the law. We've said that use Ghana's oil revenue only for infrastructure use. Big ticket infrastructure. And it's the responsibility of the government of the day that at least the next 4 years, you would need to earmark all this oil revenue for one major infrastructure and name it as such. That has changed. As a result, last year, the oil revenue, we had a paltry $500 million, just under. And then, lucky enough, we were able to take advantage of mineral royalties. We saw gold prices moving up. And so what we did was, in the past, again, the mineral royalties accrued to the state from gold, for example, was going to Mineral Income and Investment Fund. And they were using it to buy treasury bills. And so, well, what I did was simple. I said, you can't use state money to buy my own bills. I've taken the money from you. So I took that money, and I had another $500 million. The two put together is $1 billion. That is what we are using to build Accra-Kumasi Expressway. So two tax major policies have made a change. This year, our estimation is that we are getting another $1.5 billion. So last year and this year, $2.5 billion. Granted that Accra-Kumasi Expressway is going to cost us $4 billion. We'll fund it without borrowing. 2025, 2026, 2027, we'll be able to have $4 billion United States dollars to link Accra to Kumasi. That is simple. But in the past, we were spreading these resources so thinly to buy air ticket and some capacity building. People travel to Dubai for conferences and all. That is not prudent to have spending taxpayers' money. And so all of that, we've stopped it. And we are targeting major infrastructure. After 2027, we'll target another project. And gradually, we'll build the country going into the future.
To forson, enti ayame dese was okofa video we dia ba betu. It will be an 3 points now, me de banwa. Now, red said the aban, you call first time, son, you call IMF. Nene, aban the buyer was you won't copy muna. Kwakusia to Tieni ya. Tieni ba. Be bien when Chesa Ghana, IMF Yebesubium. Be bien ho. Because, and I'm no say. So, them say, is it Takwa? What would the Amaka brother for? Ah, yeah, Juma. And we're promising nursing school. And in Yama, one more bay. Jenna him say go first at the man, one young for Sobian Fan Free Swama or Mangana. A maybe Nana won't move to Bosia, a fear Nabem Bell near so Muntia like Bay, no water bill, and an Inna free Womutia. LG Hospital, one more SC, Hona, one see hospital, or man for hospital, Joe Muska, Yanfanta Womo. Apart from that, Chame Papa Wabwase. Chame Hospital Papa Wabwase. Chame Papa Wabwase. Chairman super wabwase. Messe sama anko wane boase anko boase a. Kadam nim se boase times and nya boase ne to good. Every one frame fit prepi besi samri. Okay. For me krom ja che kura kono che boase to good wo. I'm telling you. Because me krom ja che ba bi no abewura ye ngukota. Nyame adaroma sama se men sama mi wuye ene adutu ma mi wuye nti ye nya sa ade no. But go to boase. So ene da ma be se Ghana ni nsa. Tagwa se wan be se Ghana ni nsa. Enti edi na Sagana fo no ya ye address ya beto te niema ya ye ne ye ntimi nya ya niema yi e ma nya yi kwaku ebi ne de ne ye kan ya South Africa fo edi nsehuni yi so many toto ne niema ya menyini se South Africa fo natural resources e che Ghana de bi da nemum na kade na me alake krono na me alake pasamenkum nya na me alake nyansa ye die na me alake da bia wo foma amma ye manfo etu kwan konkura ni kwaso omukomu kwaku we can do Kumasi Accra Express Road without borrowing said we cannot your friends say kesa to force cannot and it can be possible and on social media there are even suggestions ekoso sasa ban ni bedi no kure na so betimi aye kwan na man a opa won fa one cedi to bia nto Ghana ni bia so we will pay
because what you know so free Kumasi e kwa Accra and now free Accra e ba Kumasi a masa this time the anyadwuma ketua o
we will pay
obecho
make you 9 and then will take you 6 hours 7 hours e bindru ba bi kra 8 hours nam se traffic and kwan yenti no adu Accra na se ye we ne 2.5 hours akwaku Dioti Kumasi betimi aye adwuma wa Accra. Dioti Accra betimi aye adwuma wo Kumasi because wo sorry anopa na wo sim 6 wo kwa Accra. Wacha 8:30 no adu. Wacha 9 no adu. Adwuma bie no 1 man 9 wontimi nkonko ye adwuma. Gisa wo mo ye straight no se gisa 8. Se wo to free wo pon anwumre 7 na wo to free nkran na wo be Kumasi a wacha no 9 10 na wo Kumasi.
Wo mo ko visa interview ni sei. Wo interview e wo Accra be 10 a. Aiso ko da ho.
Can you imagine? Enti ebinum kra ya adwen sese aban betim de to atoso no obedi no kra so wo so metena sei no Accra to Kumasi expressway no ye betimi aye within 1 year 1 year na 2 million Ghana cedis ne de beye ye che 2 million Ghana cedi na Ghana ni bia ye betimi de 1 year na ye de betimi de atua te ye Ghana ni bia peso I am telling you na aban ni bedi no kra no de sika na ya Ghanaians are ever ready to pay
Me sister aban ni timi ye Kumasi Accra expressway na meye campaign am NDC
Baku de entia oh ye nyina ye de ho bagim anya wo nkwa o anyi ansre because once me metra catch us me doubt it say aban ni betimi aye maka na ha enti say aban we timi aye ansa na 4 years na so a kwaku ye me t-shirt na me de akwa adwuma me shasha ne chen ma che boot aka
ko rally na odi akire
say me pant nyina ba NDC pant me pant nyina because Akuffo Addo to Kumasi road ase the year 2000 Akuffo ba ye a won mo hyase ye nwadwuma won mo hyase no besi samre 26 good years ni ye wo ya enen kwada ye wo mo 2000 ebinum awade awo ebinum anyinyini ye wo modwuma ebinum makra sa wo school mu but up to now sankran to Kumasi ntimi nyenwie ti se wo ba na within 4 years wo so wo ye the same kwan ni bi e de afrinkran de aba Kumasi aye short way no otumi aye awia na metwo na mse campaign mfa masa party na me yegibifo I'm telling you. So we will all fight. Near Boma, any candidate to be lead Biana. Yamana no about to Panso. So Kwaku, we can do it and do it and do it and do it with fiscal discipline. Yabejan some Huna Yamo Mangana Sikaswani day and one. Ato forson enya kasa kwa. Mone matoni general ankasa. Abana ankasa montas na monkasa. Kata se proyane kankan. All Africa Games, the 23 billion and the plus Legon. Legon Sports Stadium. Ah, met me a John Shata Hosia. The 23 billion and a prayer. Nasi the reason fee and a big good Legon Stadium crank had 23 billion bepra. Kwaku. There were some organizations that want better condom free. But all Africa Games and paying for some how much and a talk condom the buy. Kona kubisa kwaku and as at now yanchi will be now me go to Facebook na me can no kwase ya bia ba can say I should go and arrest them. Such animals, they call themselves human beings, and they are the people one man more memum penyumfo no sabi wo ma fe senwa because the drum be more man mum penyumfo ko to ambulance by kuma semia mani su ne me gina boss of ambulance say na man na woro wo mu piketo no wo mu ntoma e dey twi ambulance form intina na dan Akuffo Addo to office no he say hey ambulance we no wani agim say ne ma ya adwuma na wie ya mo politicians na fire say remote and wo mu control ye at the same time wo se ma ya dwene ye adwuma so NDC wonye Kumasi express road no way no wonye ne saa kwa abrekata ashe prene kankan akoso all Africa Games no woni akire na wonteche nkrofo na yesika nkodimu aban no ho no hwe ne ye na woda
quick one yenko this video emra na Ghana for tete se Ghana from free South Africa ba yi wo mo ba no ma ba sumdwem but enyuma e wo Ghana no bibi ti se wo mo mutututu gold no e ma John Mahama renew wo mo contract no enye sa ye be demonstration quick one ehwe emra
Accra FM. Oh damn. No, South Africa is almost civilized.
How?
Over the ordinary South African citizen, they are not civilized. Despite the fact that when it comes to infrastructure, they say roads are dying, industrialization, Africa has South Africa. I think South Africa is the biggest economy, second biggest economy after Nigeria. I'm going for the non school. And this anglo for me the day na some of them. And tene malema be so say they say Ghana for 300 ne kofi. How many jobs and are creating? And how many of you and amonya say juma amobabe. And then Nigeria for so almost like me I don't have any problem. Name mom takwa se takwa go fields.
Takwa go fields.
Ma babe ye juma mota mo aso. Aban so renew farmer mu biom. South African company. They can go to hell. Sir President Mahama ma ye renew sa takwa go Goldfield for alliances so Monsantana Ghana ha and mining for additional another 20 years. And first canon ko South Africa. I'll be part of among Ghanaians ye BTSC Montiaye demonstration. It's about high time. Abambe take over MTN. Take over. Papa nyashwe abone nyashwe. Stanbic Bank South Africa take over. ABSA take over. Soft right South Africa take over. Ghana for betima manage.
Big companies.
Yeah, betima manage. Very betima manage. This is very simple. Take over. Because media cause of South Africa beyond Matrasia, Meridian, I'm so more than convinced South African government is in support.
Ghana for both. Dear Bako, no more yarding any good in the Yanyadi. Or manager Padiaka Kraka be and Yamia Darma. Yamus Ibrahim Mahamanum. Any other companies are one more competent or more bit too. And no dear no more yard, but Mr. Ghana for South Africa for the Yamwa. And will be him say Eriase. Niti to be memha. West Africa, a band democracy can be mamin kebi. On my help or your hospitality, a year top notcher, a Ghana. Tie, you over best 300,000 as I say, and what South Africa. Say 3,000, yes, 3,000, and what South Africa. A mube say 800 pen on peso muba. And to mesre. And yet there was some Ghanaians who wanted to be a beer sound class and maybe no. No more to me, Miss Madame for only one year. I want you, Mojuma. Ufa Abba, now the Bayan Quaya, Bakupesi, it means saying doesn't mean Sabening Nasa. And be with Catabone, Ninebia. It doesn't mean Sankatini Nana say, eh, Bakupina, now say, and Anuncian Kokani in a man say, you go to dear, and your man bonfire property. Ya japade say ya wo competent personnel won betimi aye adwuma no amaska na ko mem ha na Ibrahim Mahama no anya hwe no wo mo di behwe obi ani a yenye mfa ye na kra no wo contract aso tinya se bia wo contract ne ye kotwa mu contract ne so 2027 aye pa ye be renew ya pa ye renew me no na akwa apam abra no so nam se se dia me betimi aye madwuma enti ko wo ha no sai we dia ye nkobro wo mo na mu mesre se bia banks ahodo MTN na wodo and some schools and then when some no ka say one mu Jimmy was South Africa even schools almost foreigners not take over one schools into one pam mu nyina nti bia be koka university na bia South Africa na bia school wo se ye ko pam no mesre momma ye nkyere wo mo se ye de nipa enya nipa mo ma ne dra ye keke ye bibia ye nipa enyankopon bo ye a ye do nipa ye ntimi to pull out said the South Africans no no and indeed ya kan anya South Africans nyina na ejimi sa enti mesre ye gold nom ane ye bosat nom ye diamond nom ane de say you capable person a umbetimi atu a ane ye mesre wo English broni kura na atu a yanyi mfamfiri wo nsam ye mfa maye ne aye ho ne anya
we say no the likes of MTN money yi no omo ba na ye Ghana fo a wo ma employ wo mo
exactly
because say kasi ye guna Ghana for bebre be ai
say ko South Africa enipa do aye MTN a enipa do say no wan employ mo ye South Africans Ghana fon kwa
what is banks na Akuffo Addo mbegu no no unsa amanfo hwere adwuma pa
you and no cost Stanbic bank ye ka say South Africa de na min ko hu South Africa ni bia ho da wo ye nuanom a na ye adwuma ho nti ugu Stanbic bank one way or the other no some who bia be unemployed and ye ni sky ye sade be Stanbic bank no into the capital de ko It must say one day, Mummy, ye pa. Name me, you go to dear. Ya diamond dear. Ya both sides dear. Yaniji.
Only say Nigeria for so yes, so my mistake. We say Semi Basano, Womako shop right on Nigeria, Aqua Bubu, not knowing say a Nigeria for Nadia. See, and everyone man company be a yet tiano. One say ya, Ubetia say South African India at the end, Ube Cob maybe an maybe to say be a MTN money to shop right. A South African company, but Ghana need to mean or my partner. No, Maka say be me be a biwaha. Dimu, you grow a sesum. Yeah. Tis a one really ya. It's in your so far once and one before you the old brew crew. And now I want to Besi Shahu, not Bemasu Kokum Tonton, no one rea, or Shan Ankasa Beseno. And until one Fenians and Yantin Casa Bebubo, as your boss until Franoma, this was Besnians and Ninkwana Cotono to me fan who could ye. Mestre, yet to say one when you make crowd Rosso. South Africans say any woman, young corporal woman, dear, I will not entertain it. But dear, I am necessary, sir. A binding boda, walk for Unsa, says I'm South Africa for no respected Ghanaians. Nasama Limakasa. And I dear Ghana for you, no, wouldn't picture each other. Oh, yeah. America saying South Africa for me a cannibals. America saying South Africa for your hooligans. America saying South Africa for only a xenophobic and pa said the Omokano. Because on my Ghana, a maybe $1 million. No, one more bro, mamma, penna cost so many papa into a traffic chebi the actual woman. And I know because I brought forward South African so planet. So I'm better woman and you feel blacks. I'm telling you. That be South Africa no go through her. I brought for no money blacks in Tamamo.
Ah, yeah. But Mimi, I mean, call they are married with internet. Which I won't see that before.
Over Conabia, South Africa for no Kromha, South Africa for no and the walk crew that animal. Now, Brofuna to move up a new site.
A Brofuna dan come. And one Cassan, one more Brancasa. Because I'm told from for and woman and my South Africa dear. Ya was South Africa, ya African countries, there was South. What is South Africa? Where your mind? Tina Mekaya, no. See a man penny phone who yansa. Now coming from more than 400 factories no ye, you know. Only when I buy a toss or buy no more contain ye no more to and no more in the Neminoka say. Some more than 400 companies and that's what done last on the year, Jama. Kwaku, I didn't think I wasn't Kaya Gun and you know to Panya. South African also. Men, because South Africa knew. As my can you all share what you want in ye pa. Me say, South Africa need be beer one more the 10 year because they are largest producers of cocoa. E will rease, a good rasabe, e will rease. Cocoa ye second. About a year unkuta ye come home. About will be an cocoa be a buyer come Ghana the first. About be an unkuto ye fire, Ghana the first. The South Africa need be an fanchen. But woman, a profuno mango, you know. No munya fa wudi no ma mpama brofo no na brofo ndi wo munya nsande aboa na wo de achichiri kro na makro na ye kama na ye yete anom ne yanso ye jimiye na ye de ase wo man no enti sanke yetimi tutu ye nieme yanka nye South Africa for yanko ye ne yetimi yetu kwanse ye ko no ye metu kwan a ne ye ko amayan ko mo che yan a ye ntimi mfia won tutu wo mo but ya mo ye bra yie na ye ne e ka bi de kire me no mienu ya bra ba ye bo enne ya wo fefa wo ba wo si ye youth no adwuma wo ye no hunyansa na pe bibi na ye ne bedru ba bi no be boto no anhwe ya wo be ko ba bi ani kwasa wo ko na ko pe busia
quick one.